Hello and welcome to the ORCA Pod, the apex predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. We are back covering the second episode of Backyard Survivor 5, One Well. It's Christmas. It's between Christmas and New Year's. It's a funky time. We're broadcasting on a Friday night. So thank you to all that have nothing better to do than be here live and watch us talk about Backyard Survivor. Joining me, as always, are my fabulous co-hosts, Dani.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody.
And Jules, welcome.
Hello.
And
who even knows what day of the week it is? This week of the year means nothing.
I work today, so I know it's Friday.
There.
I did not work. This is that weird time between Christmas and New Year's where days and time lose all meaning.
Yes.
I'm working all the public holidays, so it's great for my time in lieu, but not great for my social life.
Thank you for your service. Now, on to the keeping the trains running on time in Melbourne. The episode, another fantastic, well-produced. Look, are we going to put a certain limit on us just gushing over the production? Like, we know they're really good, right?
I'm sick of us already. This is the podcast. We don't gush. Like, I'm sick of us already. I don't know how much we love this.
So why we should? Well, this is normally the podcast where we talk shit about these shows, and we've got no shit to talk.
Yeah, there's no real shit at all. It's all perfectly balanced and wonderfully created. So, look, it's amazing. We'll still talk about it, but let's try and calm it down. Everyone knows how amazing this is. It's incredible. Let's get into the players and the gameplay. And we start. Do you guys want to jump to the end like we love to do, or do you want to start at the start? How are you feeling in this weird mid-gooch week?
Look, I was watching this on Christmas Day while I was on a break at work. Ash, you're welcome for driving all the trains. So with Tribal Council, I was convinced that it was Mel going, and I was torn. I'm like, it's between someone on my team and someone who is a friend of mine. So I was like, either way, this doesn't work for me. I was slightly happier with this result because we love Mel. But yeah, I was convinced she was going. So the edits did a really good job of fooling me.
I wasn't fooled. It was clear that Luke could put his foot in it. Obviously.
No, I thought they were siding with him up until the minute that he asked at Tribal, like, yeah, Mel, right? And they did such a bad job of lying to him. That's when I was like, oh, okay, Mel's good. Mel's fine.
I just think Luke went way too hard, too soon. It's ridiculous for him to be selling a dummy plan to Mel before he's absolutely sure that he has Jess and Zoe on board, which he doesn't really. He knows they're the power players in the tribe.
They're matching tops.
Yeah, you need to be checking your plan with them before you start throwing out dummy names to the target because they haven't agreed it is the target. And then he goes to the other person who they're thinking of voting out, in Kath, and Kath's like, oh, well, I don't really want to vote out Mel. And, of course, she runs straight back to Mel, which anyone could have seen a mile coming.
And that's exactly it. Like, they're cut from the same cloth. They come from that same sort of archetype. Like, at this point in the game, you're not splitting them up. Like, as much as Mel was like, oh, I don't see Kath and I as a pair. In this moment, they are a pair because they are a similar archetype, similar cut from the same cloth. You can't, and like you said, unless you have definitive from your other two people that you think are in your alliance, don't dummy plan. Take lead from the people that are in charge.
I also think that Luke did a very poor job of selling out Mel as to why she should be the target. He kept talking about how she's shifty or she's a devious player, and that's the way she was in Canberra. I don't think that was really, other than trying to hide, other than hiding the super idol, she wasn't too deceptive. I say she didn't really have an opportunity to really backstab anyone because the tribe was just going to Tribal Council every time. It was just the next sort of common denominator. And more often than not, she was going along with the vote. I think a better argument would be, she's played before and we haven't. And that's why we should vote.
What's his argument as well?
Pardon?
He was making that argument.
It was a secondary argument. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's been very secondary. He was more going on how shifty she was, and I don't know if anyone was buying that.
Well, yeah, again, Mel's not shifty. She's so socially smart. Like,
yeah,
we've all seen that about Mel. Like, in anything she does. Like, she's social and she's strategic. She's not sneaky. She's actually pretty straight up. Like, you can kind of read her quite well, but she integrates herself so well. she integrates herself so well socially. So that's got to be the play there. That's how you've got to sell it. How smart she is, how social she is, how the deeper she gets in the game, the more hooks she has in, and we can't let her find those hooks. That's the sell.
Yeah.
Was this the right move, though, for Zoe and Jess? Because if they go to another tribal council, they could be facing a 2-2 situation.
Oh, it's absolutely a 2-2 situation in this situation.
I don't know. I think Kath very much seemed to us, I don't know if they were picking up on this, Kath saw that those two are the ones in control. I want to be their third. So I think Kath is going to have no problem throwing Mel under the bus next round.
Do you think Mel was in serious
is someone
trouble?
who has talked about the low odds of the shot in the dark and how she's never going to use it because of that. I don't think she's going to go to rocks. So I think those two would be willing to come for each other.
I think that's a good call.
I see it the other way. I see Mel quicker to come for Kath than Kath come for Mel. Kath seems very nervous. Very nervous at the minute.
But if they're going to both come for each other, then this is a perfectly suitable move for Jess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just picking who comes with them.
Yeah. I mean, they were sitting pretty here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jess. They were just sitting so pretty. Like, no one was looking at them. Everyone was wanting their approval. It was a very, very powerful position to be in for a first vote.
Now, were people lumping them together because they were wearing the exact same shirt? Like, was I the only one that picked up on this? That I was.
No, I noticed it too. Especially when they were talking to Kath in that 3 pairing, I was like,
and it's pretty clear to me that neither of them had a green top, so they just ducked to Kmart and happened to grab the same thing that was the basic tee at the time. But it was just funny that everyone else had different shades of green. These two have the exact same shade, the exact same cut, and everything. It was.
I would say that I did not notice this, and most men wouldn't notice this because men don't really notice what women are wearing. This is this whole thing, you know. I can wear the same. People will say it's not fair that I can wear the same suit to work every day, and no one cares. And that women have to wear a different office attire. But I wouldn't notice if a woman wore the same thing every day. So women notice what women are wearing. That's what I'm saying.
Women notice what everyone's wearing.
Men are completely oblivious to this. And I was oblivious to the shirt situation.
But also it's that same thing where we're lumping Mel and Kath together. We're lumping these two together too because it's that same archetype, similar age group, same like sort of player. So let's, you know.
Sorry, I've left the gays out. Mark says that the gays also will identify the shirt and what women are wearing. Sorry, Mark.
It's Jules.
Jules has dropped out. Hopefully she'll be back in a moment. There's a lot of talk about the shirt. Everyone's in the shades of green. And Tara says it's a Kmart t-shirt. She had the same one prepped if she was on green. Well, Tara wasn't on green because she saw it fit to completely control the outcome of this vote. It's not vote. This
outset, the girl is vocal.
She said she was going to play under the radar. This is what I meant by not learning from prior mistakes, Tara, in the Facebook comment. How could you possibly conceive?
Yeah, I don't know how Tara could play small. Like she's not that type of personality. Like bless her, she's fantastic, but I don't see her sitting back and watching others take the lead. I'm talking about Boston.
Look, but it was an absolutely great move for Tara. So and let's just break down the tribe swap. And like I was sure the production was just going to put those groups anyway. And I feel like the cast had sort of got it in their head that they were going to be in those groups.
Yeah,
so they were sort of happy to go with it. But I think this was a really bad outcome for more than, it's got to be at least a bad outcome for half the cast, maybe a bit more. Tara was obviously in a fantastic position. So she's the one that said, why don't we keep the original tribes? She's got a number 1 alliance with Kate. Yep. They've both got Takan as their number 3. You've got DC as an easy vote. And you've got David, who apparently wants nothing more than to see everyone else but him win. And it seems legitimately how he feels. So, wonderful outcome for Tara.
But for everyone else, if you're not happy with it, like I think Megan in particular was not happy about it because she's not with her bestie Jess. You can't exactly put your hand up and go, no, I don't like this, because everyone in your group's going to be like, oh, well, fuck you then. So it's great. But yeah, it's great for Tara, and no one's really going to object to it.
I think you could have been. Kath says not all of them wanted the spice of drawing the straws, and I get it. And look, for people like Tara and Kate, Takan, great outcome. For Jess and Kate, they were in a great. Sorry, Jess and Zoe. They thought they were in a great position. Luke thought he was in a pretty good position too in the spur of the moment. He thought he had something going with them. But I feel like once he actually got into the tribe, he realized that maybe he'd made a mistake. And then, of course, you have the blue tribe. Not blue, yellow.
Orange.
Yeah. With Altus and Mark at complete loggerheads about the voting for Mark. And they're in a tribe together, which I think the rest of the blue tribe saw as a benefit because they figured that's going to be the showdown. But meanwhile, you have help me, name's escaping.
On people in orange?
The fourth width woman, the rugby.
Haley
calling out, going hard, going absolutely hard. So that's a bit of a mess of a tribe. I feel like there's a bunch of people.
But they're going to be so good at challenges.
If one person just said, actually, I don't think we should do that, I reckon you would have had a number of voices echoing in agreement, and then Tara's idea would have been dead.
But no one wants to be the first one to...
Exactly. Who wants to be the first hand to dissent against somebody's strong idea? Nobody. Even if you had people who backed your plan, you're still the first person who disagreed with an idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, Kath. Some of you wanted to draw straws, absolutely. But no one was willing to vocalize that. Tara says she did it for straws in Melbourne too, and she's been there, done that. I agree. I feel like and Tara was the one who was bold and brave enough to say, let's do this, and no one would speak against her. I just don't think that bodes well for Tara in the long run to be that vocal when she's already been.
We see everyone just clocks her from the minute they get back to their camps, like, whoa, Tara.
But I don't know that she can hide that. I think there's
exactly what I was just saying. I was like, I don't, she just can't not do it.
There's a number of people who already know who she is. They know she's going to be like that. But also, there's only so much of your true personality that you can hide. Tara this is a tame version of Tara. She is aware enough to go, okay, I need to be a bit more reserved. I need to not be as opinionated. And she is doing that, but she's still more so than some of the other people that are there.
And then I'll go to the decision. Sure.
Yeah.
Like I'll go for the advantage. Like there's no, you're telling me she's thinking about these things and she's saying she's thinking about these things, then doing the complete opposite.
Well, it seems like, was she the one who was chosen to go to the summit, or I think Coach was just like, you're at the front, off you go.
Yeah, Coach put her and Kate forward, and then I think Kate went, you go. Yeah, based off like confessionals we see later.
Look, I get it, because if I'm Tara, I want to go too, and I'm thinking, oh, I better not go to this. I'm going to hang back. And then everyone's like, you can go, CK. And I'll be like, okay. Like, that's not what happened, right? But, like, I would not be able to say, no, like, I don't want to go. Let's send David. We should be sending David because David is the most honest on our tribe, and he will be very clear about what happened. And if he gets an advantage, he'll probably play it for the tribe. Like, David is who we should be sending. But if everyone, and that's what I would argue for, but if everyone started throwing me to go, I think I'd just have a hard time arguing against it.
Yeah.
Especially when David's like coach is the one who originally says, oh, you two should go. How do you then turn back like, well, no, you should. That's in that, like, everything moves so quickly. So the minute someone suggests something, you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I want to agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
The
driver has got to drive. Yeah, I totally understand. We understand that. The three of us get that. Like, we're not. It's hard to sit back and not lead.
Talk about the summit, and then we can talk a little bit about the different tribes and their makeup. Other than green, do we have any more to talk about green? I think we sort of covered it off and where it's going.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I think green. We're good.
Yeah. So into the summit. Now, it's a sort of new era survivor concept where there's going to be a disadvantage. The contestants immediately clock that it will likely be a lost vote. And I think, is it Tara that mentions the danger of that in a 5-person tribe?
Yeah.
You know,
I think Jess points it out too.
Yeah, Jess, yes, very powerful to not have a vote in a 5-person tribe. And they go through who needs their vote, who can live without it, etc. And I then found the decisions that they made, I felt they all talked it through very sensibly and then made perhaps not the best decisions for themselves.
I think the thing that might have tipped the scale, which would have for me, is Kyle and Brian saying, if you don't participate, you have to leave right now. I think for Jess in particular, she wanted to know what was happening, which meant she had to stay and take the risk, that would have swayed it for me. Like, I would have been happy, hey, I don't have to play as long as I can stay and watch.
Yeah. Yeah, to be so close to so much knowledge and then be told, yeah, sorry, if you don't want to play, bye-bye. I'd be like, oh, I really want to know what's happening here.
Mm-hmm. And like, Jess is the one that's come out of this in the best position to have all the information and have nothing.
Yeah.
So you could have also lost a vote and it would have been fine. She was in the best spot.
Oh, yeah.
I just love how like they had such a carefully crafted plan about what they were going to say when they went back to camp, and it quickly turned to like instantly.
Jacob just went wrong.
Well, let's talk about that a little. How do we feel about it being opened in the summit? Brian sort of jumped in and said, "Oh yeah, it's your game."
I like that they are not interfering. They are letting them do what they want to do, and I think. When they split them into tribes, they said the well is going to be the place where you can come and go. They're going to be able to interact with each other. So why stop them from doing that here? If they want to all open in front of each other, then let them. So I thought that was really good to let them do that.
Yeah. I like, because he was like, all right, off you go. And they were actually like, no, we would like to stay here. I liked it.
You convinced me, actually. My original position was I didn't like it because that's sort of how it works on Usual Survivor, and I thought that it's sensible in the production to leave the mystery there for each player as to who got what. But because of the one world twist where there's the ability to continue to interact, I think it will make for better television for them to know, to have had to go back with the story, for that story to then be fact-checked in future people that attend the summit at the well. You have convinced me that, yes, this was a good production decision to let it happen, even though perhaps wasn't their intent. It doesn't feel like it was their intent. Happened on the fly, and I think actually he's going to create better, more interesting storylines.
I agree.
What do we think of the lie that they came up with?
Tell us what the lie was.
Well, the lie was that they were all going to say that Jacob was meant to tell his group that he didn't play.
That Jacob and Jess didn't play, and he doesn't
know what they got.
Yeah, he didn't know if Tara got an advantage or a disadvantage.
I would have said, especially for Jacob, I would have said, yeah, I played, but I actually don't know what I got until I go to the voting booth. Because then it can't be held against him. And then when he comes back afterwards, he can be like, oh, I lost my vote, but it's already gone.
I like that.
Yeah, it is a good lie, but isn't that going to get found out like immediately with all the loose lips?
If all three of them say the same thing, I don't know what I got. That's better for Tara. That's better for Jacob. For Jess, it doesn't really matter what she says.
I was surprised that Tara took this. Like, she's already talking about that she like is already becoming a threat, or like people are noticing her for speaking up, and then they both dump on her and are like, yeah, we chose not to play, and then we're going to say that you played, but we don't know what you have. Fuck no. Like, you don't get to the dump me then and make me more of a threat than I already am. No, that surprised me that she's kind of like, okay.
But for someone like Tara, can you say no to the chance of an advantage? No. And the information, like, for me,
I'm not saying it's bad that she played. I'm surprised that she took their issue of the lie. Like, the story that they were going back is that Jacob and Jess didn't play, and Tara played, but they don't know if Tara got anything. So they're going back to their tribes and being like, only Tara played.
I thought the lie was they were going to say that Jess and Tara played, but they don't know what they got.
No, I've got here that Jacob and Jess didn't play.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, Tara went back to her group and was very open and honest about what she got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think was the right play.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about going back to the Pink Tribe. While Tara was away, they're starting to have a bit of chat. And I think DC is perhaps aware that this is not the best circumstances for him. I think he's a reasonably aware player. And I think he sees that he's going to have to find a position to... that's a very good comment.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think I know
Yeah, I think it was a little bit convoluted, like as to what they'd agreed for everyone to remember that in the heat of the moment. And they go. DC's looking to make a relationship with Khan. I don't really know if that's there. David is basically impossible to play with, and they all decide to go off on a bit of an idol hunt. And then Tarkhan makes one of the most egregious errors I think I've ever seen. I didn't even think about it at the time, but when he sees a piece of paper on the ground and it's some litter, he knows it's not anything. He obviously picks it up. It's not anything. I'm just going to put that in my pocket so I can put it in the bin later. And DC's like, that guy found something. Now,
you got to hand that off to here. Do you want to chuck this in the bin? Like, don't leave
Yeah,
this here. Don't put it in your
I don't
pocket.
think he was thinking. I don't think Takama was thinking that someone's going to see me put that in my pocket and think that I have found something.
Which is good, but it's not crazy when it's a group idol hunt, and you don't think that people are watching you with fucking
they're
hawk eyes.
watching each other.
Like,
so just saying, I thought I knew what we agreed, but can totally see how it wasn't ideal for the others. So not surprised they didn't go along with it. Takam, why do you hate the planet? We don't. We're just saying don't put it in your pocket.
It was sus. Oh god, this is an essay.
Tara, that's
essay. We need Tara's essay. Put that away, Jules. Too much. Sorry, Tara.
I didn't put that up there. I don't have the ability to do that.
No, sorry.
We love that you love the planet. That's not the issue here. The issue is that it was an idle hunt moment. You picked up a piece of paper, you put it back down, then you went back to pick it up and you put it in your pocket. That's the issue. It's just like you already have a target on your back because most people know you have an advantage at the moment. Now you're going to pick up another advantage.
The biggest problem here is going to be when they go to a tribal council, DC is going to want to target Takhan based on his plethora of advantages. And he will say to Tara and to Kate, well, we know about the legacy or the thing he got at the first challenge. I don't know it's a legacy advantage. And then he found something here at the camp. And Tara and Kate are going to be like, well, he hasn't told us about that. Like, Tara's there telling everyone about her extra vote. Why is Takhan not telling us about advantages he's found? If they go and speak to him about it, he'll say, it's just a piece of paper. I found it on the ground. Like, no one's going to believe it.
It's giving Australian Outback beef jerky.
Look.
Like, it's what everyone thinks has happened. That's all that matters. No one cares what actually happened.
Again, that adage, perception is reality. Like the minute that is spread out there, he has two advantages, whatever they are.
The only thing he can do is be like, oh yeah, I got some rubbish. Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, no one knows it's the legacy advantage. They just know he has something. He hasn't told anyone the specifics of what that is. So now to have two unknown advantages, even if one is rubbish.
They're going to assume the rubbish one is...
Like, no one's going to want to keep that around. Plus a shot in the dark in a tribe of 5.
They're going to assume the rubbish one is a clue to an idol, the camp idol.
Which is what they assume the first one is as well.
Yes.
I think Takhan is going to need to really be very honest with Kate and Tara. Because I think that it will still be in Tara and Kate's benefit to vote out DC. I don't think I'd want to be in a situation with DC and David on another vote because David, like, who the hell knows what he's going to do? And maybe you could just get DC to vote for David then and then do DC last if that's where Kate and Tara are sitting. But, you know, I think they're going to have a heart-to-heart with Takhan because I think they actually do want to play with Takhan and it's going to be how he handles it.
They want him to be their third, absolutely.
It's going to have to be how he handles it.
And I think he wants to be their third as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in the conversation where DC is saying to him, oh, I'm worried about those two girls being really close, he's sort of not really giving much to that. He's not playing. He's like, nah.
That's an awkward pairing when they were together. It's like, oh, this is not a flowing conversation. These are not two people who like gel straight off the bat.
Oh, can we? Sorry, thank you, Catherine. But can we talk about the 16.6666 whatever? Mel's whole rant about that's no good because of that. It is literally a Hail Mary. That's the point of it. It's not meant to be anything else. Yes, most of the time your vote is more powerful, but if you know you're going home, it is a Hail Mary, your last chance to survive. So I don't want to hear about the 16.666.
Yeah, if you know it's 4-on-1 and what's your one vote at that point going to do?
Your vote does not matter.
It doesn't. Your vote doesn't matter at that point. Like yeah, like I'm up in the air about like, the usefulness of shot in the dark, but on a tribe of 5, when it's gonna be 4-on-1, fuck it, like what's my one vote gonna do? At least I'm gonna like go out with everything I've got to my name.
I think the shot in the dark. Oh look, Rosie, look, you're a star of Backyard, but I don't know if you're watching Modern Survivor. And look, I give all credit to anyone that hasn't watched all 7 seasons of the new era, because part of it has been a bit of a slog. But the fact is, over the 7 seasons, the shot in the dark has become a very relevant mechanism for many reasons.
100%.
The most important one is the need for a decoy boot. You can say 16.666% chance, but when it's on the other foot and you're worrying about someone playing their shot in the dark, you're a bit worried that 16.666 is going to bounce back on you when they hit safe on the target, right? Yeah. So you want to snow them, and good Survivor television is made from the need to snow the target, sometimes so much that it ends up changing the vote because it's done, and it makes paranoia. Am I the one being snowed? When you have 4 people...
We saw this in 47.
Yeah.
Genevieve was going to be the backup to the decoy, and that was enough for her to go, nah, sorry, Keyshawn, you got to go. And I was very mad at her for that.
Mark says, if you want to bring that up, Danny, a lot of people were overwhelmed with the mechanic. They chewed up a lot of tables strapped to but that's what makes it.
That's what strat is. Like, you have to account for the what ifs. Like, you can't just be like, you have to.
You have to have, okay, we're all voting for CK. CK thinks that it's Dani, but who does CK think Dani is voting for? Like,
again, I don't think it's a distraction because it is Survivor play. Like, if that's a mechanic in the game, you have to consider it. It is part of real Survivor play. Like, that's just how it is. If it's in the mechanics of the game, it is real Survivor, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and because like in that scenario I said where we're all voting CK, but CK thinks it's Dani. Dani gets wind that CK thinks it's her. That's enough for her to go, well, shit, I'll be next, so maybe I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
So it adds an extra layer of complexity that means that the smart players really have to think about it. Rosie, we get it. You don't like it. I don't love it either from the perspective of I think for the most part your vote is more valuable, but I think it does add a really interesting dynamic.
Yes.
And the one time it hit, oh man, that was good television.
Oh look, I haven't watched that season, but I have seen that footage, and
that's so fucking good. And then we see what Rachel does with it in this season, in this most recent season, where she plays it as a precursor to an idol play, like just to read the room.
Did she? She never said that at Final Tribal Council. I think that we may have just projected that skill set onto her.
No, she said it in her confessionals, and then in interviews.
I don't think she said it in the
confessionals. She has said, I didn't think it was that big of a thing in the moment, which is why she didn't mention it at Final Tribal.
It's postseason. I can tell you, a lot of the contestants on these shows postseason could look like superstars from the sort of strategy we input into their minds.
Well, either way, it was a smart thing to do. Like, even if it is inputted thing for someone to play it as a potential precursor to an idol play, just to read the room, see people's faces, I think it's smart.
Look, anything that Rachel did is fantastic, and I will love her forever.
Props to her queen.
I was a Rachel stan from the minute she tried to steal rice.
All right, move on from 47.
Anyway.
No one cares. Back to Backyard. Most of these Backyard community don't even watch actual Survivor. They just watch Backyard. On to, is that a word for the Green Tribe? Man, how would you be playing with David?
Challenge, there's a
would
couple
you
of
believe David?
Sorry, go.
Well, we haven't even talked about the Yellow Tribe yet. Would you believe David? Would you believe he's legit, coach, about this? Like, I want to help everyone go to the tribe.
After his first Tribal Council performance where he plays his shot in the dark, yes. If he had, like, from that alone, I would be like, all right, this guy.
Yeah.
It seems like he's got no clue. That's what I'd feel like.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing here. What game he's
and we see them all sitting around talking, being like, we should send him next because he'll be honest about what happened.
Yeah. Like, it seems like he doesn't know what he's actually playing.
Yeah, he's to have absolutely no strategy.
Yeah. Okay, the Yellow Tribe. Now, Mark Aaron, who's in the live in the chat, felt the special need to send me a screen grab of a shot of them sitting down at the camp with highlighting a significant bruise. He tells me it's some form of puncture in his hamstring, the back of his leg.
Did you break your leg?
He's supposed to make it clear that he's better than Josh in every way because now he's doing it tough with a sore leg.
Was your leg broken?
Josh's
leg was broken.
Broken?
He fractured it, yes. Can
confirm. Okay. Well,
yeah, I'm sorry. Come to me when your leg's actually broken, mate.
DC says that David was not easy to play with.
Orange.
Look, mate, this is yellow. This is yellow.
Orange.
Look at all the yellow on it. It's yellow.
It's orange and yellow, but it's orange. Their names and everything comes up in orange.
Yeah, fair.
I also just like to I love all those colors together. They're like neon and popping. I think they're really cool color buffs.
Good choices.
Okay, we're talking about now the Orange tribe. Sorry to dismay those members of the illustrious community. The Outus Mark comment being on the same tribe is such a delicious development from a plot point of view. You'd have to have expected that in any sort of actual tribe pick, they would have been separated into other tribes. Yeah. But here they are. Outus, I still don't really know why he voted for Mark. Any ideas?
I don't know either.
I just think he clocked Mark as like being that strategy, like that early outward player, and was just like, well, let's. I think he thought he rallied the numbers better than he did.
And Mark is very, very good. I will give him credit. He's giving ORCA energy already, but the fact that he got a bunch of people to believe that no, Tommy wasn't on my list. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is anyone believing this? Is anyone believing this? I don't know.
Haley seemed to. Because he was so adamant about it. He came up with a story at the start and he stuck to the same story. I think that helps. He's potentially also a little bit of a sociopath, and because he's very believable. He's a very good liar. And he's sort of pushing it on to Tara. No, I think Tara had it. I think she's lying to you. The only person clear is Zoe because she didn't even play hers.
It doesn't make any sense that he would have different names. She was told.
Yeah, see, it's orange.
She was told it was an orange shirt. It makes so much sense if you know Zoe's list and you know Tara's list that it would be the people on the colours.
Because Tara played hers, so she can't. Tara played hers, so she can't then show hers and be like, "See, mine's all pink."
Zoe's though, and Zoe's corroborates Tara's story that it was the people on your group.
Yeah, I think he will get found out, but not quite yet. But one thing I noticed, it said his idol expires on the end of day 1. So that's a pre-merge idol. We're assuming that the merge is going to happen either at the end of day 1 or start of day 2. So pre-merge idol, so it's not that big of a deal. But I think an idol on a tribe of 5, you can probably just book him in for the merge.
I feel great about it because I've got Mark.
And I don't think that tribe is going to have to go to very many tribals. That is a stacked tribe.
Very stacked position. Mark wants to make it clear that it wasn't a competition. I don't think he's talking about his ability to defeat his tribe, or he's not talking about how strong his tribe is in challenges. I think he's talking about the Josh O'Brien situation in terms of the parallel between them. They're in a very. I will say, if I'm going to compare them, I'm only 2 episodes into Backyard 4. Mark is already much more of an ORCA, which is the thing that we care about the most. Yeah, Josh is more sneaky. Mark's not sneaky at all. Like, Mark is the opposite of sneaky. Mark is a sledgehammer.
Absolutely. And the people are just copping it sweet.
Kath, during her episode 1 confessional, I
think I would have said the same thing. Like, what the fuck? Why do I have all these colored shirts?
There's your argument. That is your argument if you want to go to the tribe, like actual tribe pick, and not this let's stay in the same colors. It's like, I didn't bring 3 shirts to this thing to like have to wear this one random one. I want my shirt picked randomly, or I really don't like my green shirt. Like, I was actually hoping to wear my orange one. So let's just do it, you know?
That was me. I had 2 colored shirts to bring. I really liked one more than the other, and I ended up on the tribe of the color that I didn't want.
So I would like to do it. Did you want to think about as well? Look, this would have been bold as. Like, I can't imagine doing it. But imagine the agreement that we're all going to be on the same tribes. But then I like how production made them play it out with the tribe selection. what if someone went rogue there?
I was so hoping somebody would.
Well, that's what Megan wanted Jess to do.
Yeah.
How detrimental would that be to your game?
Kate, I would have tackled someone to wear pink. Well, we did have Jess and who was the one who got the orange buff? Was it Altus? They ended up with the wrong one based on what they wanted to swap, and Jess is like, no, I'm keeping green.
Yeah, but they still get the color. But yeah, like in terms of when they're actually making the picks of the players, like how bad do you think it would be to go off script there? Do you think I think that would be almost fatal. They were already
split into their groups as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think that would have been such a bad move to go against it.
I think you'd have to do it like you'd have to do it really early. You couldn't be like down the end. Yeah. Because then it's all like you'd have to set the bar. Hang on. We all said we're doing this. No, thank you. Let's just do this properly, please. Would have been very bold, but I think could have been very interesting.
To see if we could try to pick someone else, but I think we're all playing it safe still that time.
And like we see when DC is pointing out that Tara and Kate are a pair, he's like, see, they picked each other this time again as well. I think people aren't going to be really looking at who picked who in what order because, like, well, we knew who we were picking. So I would just pick the first person that I saw from that group.
I think some people actually deliberately did not pick their besties from the group. I think Tara did not pick Mark. Yeah, I'll just pick Mark. I don't think Tara picked Kate. I think she picked someone else. So you're absolutely right where you had the advantage there of not revealing who your alliances were, which again made it probably less interesting from a game and television perspective.
Because the three of us would have had mental notes of who picked who. I would have known exactly who. I was like, interesting. Yeah. Interesting that Luke was the last person picked and then he gets voted out this episode.
Yes. I don't think that really mattered. I think that Kate chose Tara.
Yeah, Kate had the first choice.
Oh, Kate was so Kate revealed that, right? Sorry. Yeah. I think then Tara picked DC. I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So that sort of move.
Is there anything else before we get to the challenge?
We haven't talked about blue much, except for Mark. That's because Mark is sucking up all the air.
There is no blue.
Oh, sorry. Some reason I think the oranges are blue. Anyway.
I think
there's not really much to talk about. We saw Jacob and Haley
change their top.
Yeah, Haley's good. They've all got orange on. We saw Jacob and Haley at the start of the episode talking about that they're a duo, and my notes say love this. All right, because I think that's going to be a good duo.
A really interesting duo. Like I think it's a really interesting duo. I don't think people will clock it, especially if they keep it on the down low the way they say they want to. It's not a typical two that you would see together. I think it's smart.
No.
And so do we think that if they go to a tribal council, it's between. Is Mark going to target Altus? Is he going to leave that alone? Is Megan in some trouble then? It could be very interesting.
It's one of those two because Jacob and Haley have gone with Mark as a third. And then when we see Megan talk about it, she sees Jacob and Mark as the pair and that they've linked up with Haley. So they're doing a really good job of hiding that duo.
Either way, Altus is probably in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Megan's in trouble here, but I also enjoy the fact that she's like, well, I could just, I'm just going to plant seeds everywhere about everything. She just wants to be like,
I reckon between the two of them, Megan and Altus, I think Altus goes. I think that Mark won't forgive that vote. And I think most people that go on these games, aren't sociopaths and don't enjoy crushing people's dreams, even if they say that in their confessional. And, you have to vote people out. It's not easy, but you have to do it. And any self-justification you can give to yourself about your vote out, you'll take. And so Mark obviously wants to vote Altus, and you'll be like, you know what? He's clearly in a lot of pain. Look at that injury. I'm just going to send him out and he can rest and maybe he gets back in redemption and whatever. But I feel good about that in my heart. And, that's what Mark wants to do anyway. So let's just do that. And they wouldn't be worried about Altus brings challenge strength, but I don't think they'd be worried about you've got people like the rest of them that are all equally strong.
No, it's not just strong tribe. I don't think worrying about losing him is an issue.
By the way, I don't think Haley believes Mark really, but I believe she's decided to give him the benefit of the doubt because she's intending to work with him. So
if she already didn't like him, she'd be pushing a bit harder on it.
Yeah.
And I think that he didn't back down, he didn't waver at all. So she had nothing to hang on to because often when you confront somebody, there's a little bit of a waver or a shift in a story or a backup, and he was like, cool as fucking like calm as, and she was like, "Oh, fuck."
It would have been if Tara was still there, that she would have been like, well,
She would have had more of a backing, absolutely. Yeah.
Which is where the one world twist coming into it will be very interesting, because that's why I think he'll come unstuck.
Kate's very much enjoyed correcting my mistakes today. I said that Tara picked DC. I had notes when I watched this week ago. She picked David, but the point was still valid. She didn't pick Takan, is the point I was making.
Yeah.
In terms of making a choice not to pick one of their obvious allies.
Also, can we call them? Can we just call them DC and Coach? Because I also like they're both Davids. Can we just go DC and Coach? Because when you say David, I'm very confused as to who we're talking about.
I was confused.
I'm not really into the Coach name, but sure, that's fine.
It's because they're both David. It comes up as Coach, so we're Coach and DC.
Neither of them are David now.
Correct.
David with the hats. That should be DC. as said by Kyle, so on this joke, or Brian was one of them from episode 1. But yeah, David with the hats.
Yeah.
Okay, the challenge. Are they not the same person?
Yeah.
Was that about DC?
Yeah.
Someone else said this earlier as well. I know that's a different one.
That was from not the same person. I think that was last episode when someone said something like, "Wait, what? Who's that?"
Yeah. Not the same person.
Yeah, we got a little clip of Tommy at Redemption. He's not sure why he was voted out. I think it's hard when there's only one person there to really give them much airtime. But yeah, he's not a happy camper.
He's coming back. He's got the willpower of an 18-year-old. You know, that generation there, that, you know, whatever he is Zuma, Alpha, you know, they have willpower. They're coming back. No, he's not.
All right.
Sorry, Tori. I chose
I reckon Luke's coming back in.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Tommy's not coming back in.
Oh, he's not coming back in. Oh, okay.
No. I chose poorly.
Exactly.
Well, calling Coach David gives South.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
I just don't see David as like, he's not Coach to me. He's not. He's too nice.
Well, he's not Coach Wade. He's not Coach Wade.
The coach name is taken. I'm sorry. Like, no one in Survivor can be Coach.
Well, what other names did he call himself?
Boston David. He should be Boston Dave.
Here are my notes.
Kyle says, I would love to hear each of your next boot predictions as a podcast staple. Well, depends who goes to Tribal.
All right. Well, let's do it at the end. We'll do the Brommy and the predictions before we get into TWIOLSH. So let's talk about the challenge, because it's the only thing we really haven't talked about.
I love this challenge.
Yeah,
such a good challenge.
Let's bring on the gushing. It's an amazing challenge.
I think this is one thing that Backyard has always done quite well since season 1. They do the challenges. They do them well. They get something that is from Real Survivor, and you know that I didn't see a single milk cart this one. There's a lot of it looked really good.
Their challenges have always been good. I agree 100%. But this season, they look next level production. The challenges are always good, but now the look of them is next level phenomenal. Yeah. The amount of work that's going into these challenges is next level.
Mm-hmm. I would really want to do that puzzle at the maze at the end, just to be like, oh my god, that's like Real Survivor. I think that's the real reason the other 2 tribes were swapping everyone out. Everyone wanted to have a go.
Yeah,
they've had that snake before. That's a reuse from season 4. But
all right, fine. I haven't got that yet. Clearly,
when you have quality production like that, of course you're going to reuse it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, the carrying the blocks, which is also something they did similarly in season 2.
The maze thing on the table puzzle.
Yeah, table maze. Like, who made that? That's a lot of work. It's incredible what they're doing here with the production. Except, where was the commentary?
Yes,
like
I did.
There was no commentary on this challenge.
Yeah.
So when you put these Survivor challenge with no commentary, it feels like you're back in Borneo, and it's not good.
Yeah, I did. And then when you did hear them speak, I was like, oh, there they are, because I gotten so used to like them not speaking. So yeah, it was very odd.
And they do normally commentate, and I love their commentary. And often you have cuts to them, like, you know, having a little bit of banter, particularly if things are taking a long time. I thought that was a miss, but that's about the only miss I've got for them.
But it was edited really well. Like, there was that moment at the end where it looked like Jess was going to get it. Jess, you're in the comments. Tell the truth. Was that right at the end, or was that like halfway through earlier? I feel like that was halfway through earlier, and that wasn't like literally that close.
Well, it looked like the other person was also very close.
No, I think that was at two different times. Is more my point.
Hmm.
Like when Alta's finished, I don't think that's right
Like,
after Jess had dropped.
Yeah, she's saying it's actually close. I think I could see Altus's ball in the same shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I could see Altus's ball in the same shot.
It was good editing, but all right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Green lost because they don't have a puzzler.
No, they're saying now it's milliseconds. Yeah.
All
That's what I
right,
thought it was.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
I'm wrong.
some housekeeping, some admin. Do we have nothing else to talk about in particular about the episode? I think we've covered most of it.
No, I mean we talked about tribal at the start, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is going to be the Brommy for this episode? Who was our Brommy last episode? Was it Mark?
It was Mark, and I think our Brommy this week is the guy that got voted out. I think Luke is the Brommy.
Ooh, I'm a bit in favour of Tara for this one, to be honest. Just being bold in front. I'll take the summit. I'll take the advantage. I'll determine how we make the tribes.
Awesomeness got him voted out.
Was it? What was his awesomeness?
He was strong arming strategy of being like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do, and he was rubbing people the wrong way.
All right, you're the decider, Danny. Or do you want to throw a third cat in?
Well, I still think Mark is a Brommy contender again for this one, just for his
You did this
bold...
last time with Ed.
No,
I give it to Mark every time.
No, Mark's cancelled. Actually, got the last one. So pick between Tara and Luke.
Luke.
Yes.
All right. You two. You always pair up. Can't get a win. Anyway, yeah, it's a fair call.
I just think because I think most only because I know you think I pair with Jules all the time, but I don't think besides the picking the tribe part, I don't think Tara put herself forward for everything else. So she got put forward and accepted it. She didn't, and then she just made the most of what was given to her.
She had ORCA thrust upon her.
She did.
Mm-hmm. Right,
but so also Danny's always just going to side with me because that's how we roll.
We'll do a prediction. Yes, I know. We'll do a prediction for tribes that are going. We'll do one tribe each. I think for green, I'll do green somewhere in the green, and I think that I think Mel's going. I like your prediction of that. I think that's a sensible thing. I think the girls stick together. Zoe, people's champion Zoe, she's going a long way. I think we can look for Zoe to be a real contender for bringing home the drinks.
We might be going to Perth.
Yep, Zoe and Jess. And I think taking Kath along and voting out Mel, if that was the tribe. Which one of you wants to do the next one and pick a color?
Danny.
I'll take pink because I know you don't like pink. Jules. Who
said I don't like pink?
You don't like pink.
Okay, fine.
In the pink tribe, I'm going to keep on with our conversation. I think Takan is in real danger here, just based off his advantage.
Okay. From Orange, I think it's going to be Altus. I think Megan is the other name that will be in trouble, but I think Mark is ORCA enough to push his agenda.
All right. So obviously, it's only a couple of days away. Tune in this Sunday, and then we'll be back next week to talk about all the coverage of that. But before we wrap up, don't go anywhere. We have the second episode ever of TWIOLSH. Last time, it was a nail-biting defeat. Kyle defeated me, but frankly, he's going to know all the backyard stuff. I'm looking for some more noobs to be brought in. We put out the call, and I wouldn't say you brought in a noob. I think you brought in a very top contender, someone who knows the Survivor series, not just the ones he's played in or been a part of producing, but has also watched a lot of seasons, crewed in a lot of seasons. In fact, I reckon he's been present at more seasons than had probably aired, and his podcast
had a brief Link and You'll Miss It cameo in this episode.
He did. His podcast about backyard, as we saw, great to get the unanimous and widely regarded best first boot in the history of LRGs. JP himself, welcome, JP.
Oh, hello. Did we just kick out Danny for me?
Yeah, she does the back. She does the back page, back of house.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry to take you off, Danny. Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah, I'm excited to be back on the podcast because usually I do the podcast for Backyard. So
I know you do. I didn't just give you the boot. I asked if you want to be part of it, and you work a difficult job now where shifts are unpredictable. So we're glad to have you on here. You've done the coverage for Backyard in the past. Great to have you here, and great to see how this goes. I think you're going to be very formidable in this episode of TWIOLSH. Now, like last week, I will now remove the comments from my screen so I cannot see them.
The comments wouldn't have helped you much last time. It was mainly Tara and Mel, and they were getting a lot wrong. So
anyway, I'm going to remove the comments. I can't see them, so feel free to play along at home. Danny will put up the comments of relevance. Jules, take us away with the second TWIOLSH.
All right, I will say second episodes are much more difficult to find questions for. I think like the first episode, a lot happens, and the second episode is not as much. But we're here. JP, do you need me to go over the rules, or do you understand how this works?
I have no idea what I'm actually doing.
Okay, cool. So we're going to have a series of questions that are going to be about the second episode of LRGs. The four previous episodes of the seasons of Backyard are mandatory, and you decide which two are for you and which two are for CK, as in season 1, 2, 3, 4. When I ask you the question, I'll ask it to you straight out. If you choose to answer it without hearing multiple choice, you will receive 2 points. But if you get it wrong, CK will have a chance to steal and take a point. Or you can choose to hear the multiple choice, and it'll only be worth 1 point.
And it can't be stolen.
Is this only on Backyard Survivor?
So we'll do the previous seasons of Backyard, and then you will have a choice of any other LRG to get a question about episode 2. And then CK will spin a wheel to get his next one. He doesn't get to choose.
I would choose my season, but I did not make it to season episode 2. So,
all right. So we'll start with the Backyard ones. So you can choose which 2 seasons you get and which 2 seasons CK gets. So
amazing! All right.
So what's your first pick? Okay.
I'll go season 4.
Season 4.
It's fresh in my mind.
Okay. So in Backyard 4, at the challenge, players had to spell a word using blocks on a plate attached to a rope. What did they have to spell?
Gosh.
You can choose the multiple choice if you're not sure.
Yeah, let's go multiple choice.
Multiple choice. So the options are immunity, safety, victory, or winners.
Victory.
That's correct. So you get 1 point.
I like a challenge. They had to spell Victor.
Yeah, in the end, they had to spell Victor.
Yeah.
They couldn't spell
okay,
Victory.
so which season?
The wires were removed. I would like to challenge that one.
Yeah, because they were taking too long. All right, which season would you like for CK? Out of 1, 2, 3.
Let's give him 2.
2, okay. So at Tribal Council in the Backyard 2, episode 2, Daniel played his idol, which resulted in us having a 1-1 tie. Ultimately, Casey went out on the revote, but who was the other person to receive a vote at that tribal?
Jess.
All right, 2 points. They didn't even hesitate for that one. All right, JP, would you like
ORCA of the season. Sorry, ORCA of the season.
ORCA of the season, yes.
I'll go season 1.
You'll go season 1, okay. So at the challenge, Matt threw a hissy fit when he misunderstood the rules.
Yeah, Jules,
That's
sorry.
Sorry?
ORCA of the season,
ORCA of the season, Matt threw a hissy fit when he misunderstood the rules. That is in no way, shape, or form the question. I just wanted to bring that up. I couldn't figure out a way to fit that into a question. But anyway, at the Blue Tribes Tribal Council, we saw one of my favorite vote splits ever in a 2-1-1. Who was the only member of the Blue Tribe to not receive a vote?
Just trying to remember the tribes and who was on them. Can I get multiple choice again?
You can.
Sorry.
It's going to be the 4 people that were on that tribe, but it's Daniel, Emma, Matt, and Tamara.
Is it Matt?
No, Matt was the one who was voted out.
Wasn't it? Oh, gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay.
CK, do you know the answer? No, not for any points, just out of curiosity.
I think it might be Emma.
No, it was Daniel.
Ah, there you go. Tough
Why did I
question.
think Daniel won? Okay.
So
Tough question.
So we're going to season 3. I think this is probably the easiest question I wrote, just out of anyway. Why did Liz not vote at tribal council?
Because she was sent to exile with Hal, and they got the 2 halves of the gigantic immunity idols, which Liz should have played to save herself in that obvious tribal council a couple of episodes later. But she was made immune by this one.
Just simply, she was not at tribal council was plenty. All right, JP, no pressure.
Yeah.
Score
You
is
actually can't win, but we will go on anyway because it's fun.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Which season would you like a question from? Any other LRG other than Backyard, and not Melbourne 1 because there's only 1 episode.
Let's go season 3, Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire. That's clever. I mean, CK can't get that question. So
Josh did produce the season, so if
I get it wrong, there's something wrong.
All right. So Marina was voted out at that tribal council. Who got her name wrong when they voted for her?
Oh, Dale.
Dale voted for someone named Marianne.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because that was like her number 1 ally.
Yeah. All right, let's bring up the wheel for what season CK is going to get.
Sorry, give me a second. I had this ready, and now I've messed it up. Sorry. Here we go. Let's bring it up. I've got to take out Playing with Fire, and let's spin it. It is Canberra 1.
1. You had Canberra 1 last time.
I did.
All right. So, Canberra 1, at tribal council, Alex played a hidden immunity idol. How many votes did she negate with it?
Alex played one. Alex played.
Yeah, actually, I know it's always Canberra 1. That's what the wheel has decided.
Oh, Alex. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking about Brisbane's Alex. Good. Got my head back in the game now.
Canberra 1. Alex.
How many votes did she negate? 0.
That's correct. So, CK, you got a perfect score of 6. And thank you for not making me use my tiebreaker question. I did ask you that, so you came through for me there.
Thank you for joining us,
JP. You still got 3 points.
I'm happy with 3. That's fine.
We'll keep the tallies running. You're the second best ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, not including me, or the guests. You're the second best of the guests.
Yeah.
We only had 2 guests, but I'm sure there's going to be people that come on and do worse than you. And we want everyone to come on here, and there's a good bit of Survivor trivia as we can all just remember back on the seasons past. So if anyone is looking to come on, the format is clear. So you have the opportunity to look into this if you want to really put me to the test. I, of course, have the advantage of having covered all these seasons at length over the last year, which most people do not.
I mean, considering next week it's going to be episode 3, maybe Liz is a good option to have on. She does know a bit about episode 3.
Oh, let's get Liz on. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get Liz on. Do that. Perfect. All right. I want to say thank you to JP. We'll drop you right now. We'll bring Dani back. Thanks for coming in. Great to see you, mate. And it was great to see you on this episode of Backyard Survivor as well.
I know. I finally got on Backyard.
I know it's a dream of all of ours, and you're the first to get there. So well done, mate. Congratulations. Welcome back, Dani.
Congratulations.
Well done with the comments. Another great episode of TWIOLSH. Well done, Jules, for such fabulous questions.
Thank you.
Hostess with the mostess.
And if you want to play TWIOLSH, please get in contact with Dani, and she will put you on the list of people we want to have you playing. And yes, I think we do really want Liz Riley on the next one, considering she was on Backyard 3 and voted out in episode 3, I believe. So let's get Liz on. Let's make that happen. Otherwise, tune in for Backyard this
Sunday.
No, I'm just trying to get the assets up. And otherwise, we'll be back next week possibly Thursday. We're doing Thursday, and then that's just for the New Year's funk of it all. And after that, we'll get back onto our usual Wednesday schedule. So thank you for everyone who watched live. Thank you for the cast for commenting. We love having you here and giving your input. Thank you, Dani and Jules, and thank you, JP, for joining us. We will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.